everybody, I'm Tom Vasel, and today we're taking a look at these 6 games and give you some quick reviews of them. So let's get started in no particular order. Here we go. First we have League of the Lexicon, which is easily the most pretentious game I've seen in a long time. Look, the die. Oh, it's a trivia game. It's a game for people who love words. Each person will take a different character here. This is sort of some humorous Victorian artwork, which is really the only humor in the game. And you're trying to collect artifacts. You can play from the easy box, which is a smaller box, or from the harder one. These are ticklish and these are tricksy. And each one, the other team is going to read you a card. You're going to roll a number to see which category or player's choice. You pick the category without seeing it. So you can see here, what's the opposite of bilious? What does antediluvian mean? Spell predilection. What's the original meaning of the word hussy, and which letter does not appear in the Latin alphabet? The answers are all shown on the back. If you get the answer correct, you get an artifact, which you are hoping is one of the symbols on your card. It's not? Oh, too bad. But if you collect 3 artifacts that are not a symbol on your card, that becomes one of your symbols. Anyway, once you get enough symbols, 5 cards that match symbols on your card, or 4 and 3 of another one, anyway, you will then get to answer one final question. The first team to do that is the winner. Look, I'm not against being smart, and I think a lot of these questions are good, interesting questions that you might ask in school. I'm not, though, looking for a spelling bee or just a lot of trivia questions that are like deep, heavy trivia, and then in a game. And in a game where when you get the question right, you draw a card and see if it matches symbols, that's levels of Trivial Pursuit nonsense. I'm all for the trivia, but where's the good game around it? I just don't like this. If it was a book of trivia, that's fine. It would be better than this game. So unfortunately, this one for me, I did not like at all. I'm giving it a 3 out of 10. Then we have Priorities, a party game of absurd choices. And when I looked at the art on the cover of this one, I was hideously turned off. Let's hope the game's better than that. In this game, which is a cooperative game, players will take turns, and on your turn, you will draw 5 cards. We have Star Trek, Clean Laundry, Yoga, Reclining Your Seat Back on a Plane, and Hawaiian Pizza. And then the one person, let's say that's me, is going to put these in order. And you don't have to write the whole thing out here. You can just simply write the numbers down. And you'll write them down from your favorite to your least favorite, or the best to the worst, whatever you might want to do there. And then everyone else is going to sit there and they're going to try to figure out which one you think is best to worst. So they'll put them in a row. So maybe you think, I like Star Trek the best, and then Hawaiian Pizza. Now you're like, no. And maybe then Clean Laundry, then Yoga, then Reclining Your Seat Back on a Plane. Maybe that's what you think it is. I then reveal them. Oh, my favorite here is Clean Laundry. Nothing beats Clean Laundry. Then Hawaiian Pizza. I love Hawaiian Pizza. Then Star Trek. I think Star Trek's okay. Then Yoga. I can't do Yoga. And then Reclining Your Seat Back on a Plane, I think is one of the worst things you can do to another human being. So that's what I put them in order. So you got 1, 2, 3 in the right positions. These 2 are wrong. So these 2 get turned over, and you'll see they have R and I, and they get placed in one spot. And these 2 get placed over, P, R, and another P. And you as a group, the next person will go, are trying to spell the word priorities before the game spells priorities. Whoever spells priorities first, if you as a group do it, you win. Otherwise, you lose. Now, keep in mind, there's lots of different cards in this game with all sorts of topics, but there are some topics you could remove them, I suppose, that might cause arguments. Feminism, Fox News, Michael Jackson, Bernie Sanders, cannibalism. There's different topics like that, but all kinds of stuff. Now, this is not the first time that a game like this has been made. There are many games where you sort things out and put them in order. This one has a couple things I do like about it. One, I like the cooperative nature of this one. Usually they're trying to match other people. This one here, you're just trying to guess someone. You have to sit there and not say anything, and you're like, you can't say anything while people put your stuff in order. And I also like that these cards have numbers on them, and so it's just easier to write the number down rather than the whole thing out there. And again, which of these is worse? Slow Wi-Fi, Noisy Chewers, the Super Bowl, Physical Contact, Minecraft, Donald Trump, Taking a Bath, Man Buns, Fortnite, Doing the Dishes. You can do whatever you want. Like I said, some of the stuff might be a hot button topic for your group. You can just take those out. They even came with an American pack and then an English pack, so you can kind of tilt it towards whatever US or UK speaking culture you're in. But I like priorities. I think it's fun. I don't think it's amazing, but I think it's a nice little party game. I'd give it a 7 out of 10. All right, I love dogs, and this game is called Hair of the Dog. It is about going into some sort of bar where you then walk around and pet dogs, other people's dogs, as many as you can. Okay, I don't normally go do that, but let's see how this game plays. So you set up kind of an area here, this bar that people are going into. And by the way, the rules of this game are A, a little loosey-goosey, and B, they're like, do what you want or not. We don't care. Don't tell me that. Just tell me the rules. The components, though, I mean, look at these nice little glasses that players have. And you get these tokens that you put in them. You're making yourself a mixed drink of sorts. You'll have 8 tokens in there. These are basically action points. As you take around your little characters, you'll start at the bar, and you have to return to the bar to fill this up to get more actions. And you go to different spots. What you're trying to do is you're trying to go around and pet dogs. So dogs are coming, and dogs will have a group of 3 cards, and you'll just place them around the board. You need to go to that dog, and you're going to pet it. You're trying to collect different kinds of combos of cards. Head pat, belly rub, butt scratch on all the different dogs. And folks, I don't want to take away the joy here of you seeing all the cool dogs that are in this game. There are so many dogs of different types. There's Bubbles, and Ori, and Bucky, and Liffy, and Jaeger. There's just so many cool dogs in this game. Players will have a little fetch quest where they're trying to do, like this person has, you get +2 for petting the most black fur, or +1 for having the most pet cards. You'll have one of these to go to. But the problem is that pets are going to have something that they need and that they want. And perhaps they'll need to get treats. And so you'll have to go over to the treat bar to pick up treats to give to your pets or to get a specific toy. But you don't know what that is. The last person to pet the dog will know, for example, that this dog doesn't want you to have anything in its hands when you pet. So you go, you try to pet it, someone says no, and you got to go figure it out. Meanwhile, there's a server walking around. If they ever catch you with your drink empty, they're going to give you a shame token, which is -2 points. And that's it. On your turn, you will score points for sets of cards that you get at the end of the game. But on your turn, you'll take a sip, you'll spend actions. You can offer a toast, which is a really weird rule, where you give up some of your tokens to make someone else lose theirs. You move the server, and then you add new dogs if you need to. That's kind of the game. There's so much that I wanted to like in this game. I like the dogs. I like the idea. I've never been in one of these places where there's people walking dogs around in a bar and stuff, but I like the idea of that. I like the idea that this cup with the action tokens in it, but the toasting action is just stupid. I can get rid of some actions to make you get rid of some of yours. What? And then the dogs, it's like, ooh, it's deduction. What does this dog want? So I'm like, I have a bone. He doesn't want a bone. I have bacon. He doesn't want bacon. And you're just spending actions, wasting your time on this stuff. I don't find that to be interesting at all. And there's tons of dogs in this game. Use just a smidgen of them. The dogs are really just there. And this game feels like it's made to just talk about dogs. And then the rules themselves it feels like an initial game that was brought with absolutely no development done at all. And unfortunately, that's not a very good game. So Hair of the Dog, cool theme, but it's a 4 out of 10. I don't like it. Then we have Living Well as the Best Revenge. And you're just like, I might have seen this before. Yes, because this is one of the Stephen Rhodes t-shirt games, or the art that he made for different games, or he just made his art and people love it. And they've been made into different games. And some of them I liked and some of them I haven't. Let's see what I think of this one. In this game, you are a nerdy kid trying to be turned from a hot mess, get a hot rod, or go from drag to dragon, or lame to fame. Anyway, that's funny. You know, the art itself is a lot of fun. Players are going to play 3 rounds of this game, and then whoever has the most points win. You'll keep track of points on a little tracker that you have here with this very small inky-dinky thing that you're going to end up losing. Even flips over. Not a great score thing. But on your turn, you roll 3 dice. At the beginning of the game, you'll first roll these 2 dice, and you can unlock things with them. I rolled a 3 and a 5. I can unlock the 3 and a 5, or I can unlock the 8. So I unlocked the 3 and a 5. Why not? So then you roll your dice. The first thing you do is you check your power die. If your power die matches anything that you've unlocked, it will go off. So here, steal 3 points for another player. Nice. If I had rolled this one, I would have got a point for each unlocked card, which would have been, well, 2 points. This one gives you a point for each locked card. This one lets you get a reroll token, which you can spend to reroll dice or keep to the end of the game for 2 points. This one gives you points equal to one of your dice. And 6 makes another player lose half their points, round it down. These other ones here, the 7, 8, 9, and 10, let you manipulate dice. You can add one to your roll, subtract one from your roll, remove one of your dice from a roll. And this one gives you an extra power die, which is sitting on it. So that's it. You roll dice, you see if your power die goes off, then you unlock stuff. If you cannot unlock stuff with your dice, then you're out of that round and you're done. On other people's turn, so when you roll, other people will still be rolling. If their die match one of your die and match an unlocked card that they have, you get a point on someone else's turn. So you still keep rolling after you're out of the game. When everyone's out of the game, then the round ends and you go to the next round. After 3 rounds, whoever has the most points is the winner. Now, I love the art in this, like I said, and it's funny. Living well is the best revenge. Having a dragon is also pretty good revenge. And I like flipping the cards over and looking at the art. The game is kind of like Shut the Box, and I don't dislike the general concept of the game, but it has 2 problems. The idea of rolling dice unlocks stuff, that's fun. But the one card that makes someone else lose half their points, what? Why is it even in the game? I was playing my daughter and she had 60 points. Now she has 30. How is that remotely fun for anyone involved? And then secondly, it's just a little more complex for how simple it is. When you roll die in someone else's turn, you're like, did I match their die? Is this unlocked? Cool. I just did that 2-step process to get a point. Most of the points are on your turn. It's just very random. It's fun. It's okay. I don't dislike it per se, but it's not one that I'm going to really seek out and play. So, that's Living Well is the Best Revenge. This one is a 6 out of 10 for me. Let's take a look at some dinosaurs here in Fossil Canyon. Now, Fossil Canyon, the thing about this one, I think, is that the box itself almost looks not like a game, but it looks like, a set of dinosaur cards that give you information. This box looks very educational, like you would see it on a shelf at a museum. You're like, yeah, does this have like fake dinosaur bones in it? No, it's a board game. Let me show you. One thing I really like about this game is that you're collecting dinosaurs. Each player will have a little puzzle piece out here representing them. But as you collect different dinosaurs, you're going to put them here. And dinosaurs are worth points. That one's worth 10 points. And this Triceratops is worth 19 points. But they also kind of give you an idea of, they show you exactly who's winning or not. So this one's 15 points and this one's 18. And you can at a glance see that this one's winning. And as you add more, here I got the T-Rex, whoom, 25 points. This is just a nice little concept. Players are collecting dinosaur fossils to do this. And so these are dinosaur fossils. These show how many points there. It shows you how many body parts each of them has. So this one, for example, the Brachiosaurus has 3 body parts. It has a tail, the middle, and the head. It's worth 20. If you get all 3 of these, then you've gotten it. You'll do that. There are 2 ways to play the game. In the basic game, all the cards are mixed up in the middle. At the beginning of a turn, you turn over an event card. Something happens. If you're playing with the expansion, it will show you where different things might happen on a grid. You're playing from a grid. But in the regular game, you'll then flip one of these cards face up, and then you can take 2. So maybe I'll take these 2, or I might take this one, and you'll put them in front of you. You can then switch a card with somebody else at the table. You give them one of yours, you take one of theirs. At the end of your turn, you can hide 3 of your cards, and so someone can switch a card with you, but if they're really looking for the Brachiosaurus, they might not know where it is. And that's it. Lots of different cards with lots of different dinosaurs. Some cards give you research, which is other ways to get points. And then, like I said, you can put them out in a nice little grid to play the full game. The game also comes with a science book, which didn't surprise me at all, talking about fossils and where people might find them. And let me show you a quick setup of the other game with the dinosaurs out there in a grid, so you can play that as a more advanced one. Here's the map for the more advanced game, but even more importantly, here's the dinosaur poster on the back of it. Of course, if you're going to play the game, you can't put the dinosaur poster on your wall, so that's sad. But Fossil Canyon, it's not an amazing game, but it's a pretty solid one of collecting resources. Me and my son really enjoyed this one. The card quality here is fantastic. The puzzle piece quality is good. Collecting them, there's a few cards that aren't in the game, so you're like, should I try to get the T-Rex? Is all the T-Rex even here? The one thing that stops me from loving this game are those random events. Some of them are like, well, this turn you get to take an extra card. This turn you only take 1 card. And that just feels awfully random and can be punishing and unfun. And that drags it down to a 6.5. It's almost there. It's almost the game I want to play. I just don't think the event cards are where this game should be. And there's also some randomness when you draw cards. If you draw a big dinosaur, you can quick build that dinosaur before somebody gets it from you. But I do like the idea of collecting dinosaur parts. It's always been something I found to be enjoyable, and I think a lot of people will like it. It's much more exciting than the box server might make you think, but that is Fossil Canyon. Now we have Romi Rami. I don't know how to pronounce this. I looked it up online. There's nothing. This is a made-up name. It is based on Rummy, and it's from Randolph, who's well known for making card games. Let's check it out. This game has cards that go 1 to 5 in 4 different suits. You see cherries and diamonds and hearts and clovers, and then you have contract cards. Players, you start with a handful of cards, and on a player's turn, the first thing they do is they look here at the market, and you can take up to 3 cards that are either the same suit or the same number. So I could take these 3 4s, I could take the 3 hearts, I could take just a single cherry if I wanted, or a single 5, whatever, and then at the end of a turn, that's going to be refilled. You can also fulfill a contract if you have one. So this one here, for example, needs 3 pairs of numbers. This one needs a pair of numbers and a straight, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This one needs a pair of 1s and then 4 of a kind, and this just needs 4 in a row, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 2, 3, 4, 5. If you do something like that, so let's say I want to do the 3 pairs. So I have, for example, a pair of 4s, a pair of 5, another pair of 4s. I discard them to do this one. This shows cherries at the bottom. First of all, this card is going to give me 4 points at the end of the game. I'll put it in front of me to show that I'm getting 4 points. And then any cherries that I used to complete this will be put face down, and they're worth 1 point at the end of the game. So if I'm going to complete this one, I want to use as many diamonds as possible. And then these will be replaced also from the deck. And the game is going to continue until someone has gotten a certain number of contracts, and that will end it. The rewards here will be handed out. These are like tossed up at the beginning of the game. They have 2 sides to them, so whoever has the most contracts with pairs, most contracts with 3 cards, the most diamonds, the most 4-leaf clovers. Players also have a single point token that's worth a point to them at the end of the game, but they can also use it as a joker to help them complete contracts. Once someone's finished a certain number of contracts, in a 4-player game, it would be 5. That ends the game. You count up your points. Whoever has the most is the winner. This game is an incredibly charming little game. Romi Rami is, it takes the aspects of running where you're trying to collect for sets, but it plays so quickly. I'll take these cards. I can complete a contract or not. Next, refill. And you can almost always get 2 cards, at least from that middle set. But you're trying to collect things to complete things, the little contracts out there before everybody else. The card quality is very well done. It's really easy to tell the suits apart. The little contracts are easy because if they don't show anything, that means they're all the same number. And if they show the arrow, that means it's a run. And anyone who's played Rummy will understand that, but anyone else will also be able to. This is a great family game. I had a lot of fun with it. There's not a huge amount of depths of strategy in it, but I'm still giving it an 8 out of 10 because I just found it to be very pleasant, very enjoyable. It plays very quickly. It's the kind of game that you can play while other things are happening, but it has more strategy than, say, mass market games like Phase 10 and Uno. This felt like there was more in depth to it. So a lot of fun, and definitely one that I would bring out, visiting people over and you say you want to play a quick card game. This is one that you just teach a few rules and they'll jump into and be able to play pretty easily. Romi Rami, a lot of fun. And there you go, folks. That is 6 game reviews. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm Tom Vasel, and this is the Dice Tower.